Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there's a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Tony and Barnes Show. Anthony, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing very well, Brian. Enjoyed my Monday, right? Today's Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday.
A good start to the week. Got some good work done. Watched the Mets win. How can you complain, Brian?
2 New York wins, some trades, so much to discuss. So excited to talk about it. Let's just jump right into the world of Major League Baseball.
2-2, he got him swinging. A back-to-back strikeouts for Robbie Ray.
There's damage right there. Shohei, way, Cy-Yo, nada, where did that land?
Stuck to Chapman, who leaps up and grabs it.
Story spins and fires. Out at first.
There it goes. See ya. Home run, Aaron Judge.
All right, Tony. So before we get into the games from last night, the Yankees making moves yesterday, and obviously we've been waiting for this for the last week plus. You knew something was going to go down. It was just what was going to go down, who was the starter going to be, who was the reliever going to be, and we finally get those questions answered yesterday. So they led off earlier in the day acquiring right-handed pitcher Scott Efros from the Chicago Cubs exchange for Hayden Wesneski. And Efros, I have to admit, I hadn't heard of his name before, but he did actually.
Or the Cubs guy.
No, the Cubs guy.
He's nasty, dude. Sidearm kind of deal. He's good.
Exactly. And he had actually struck out Aaron Judge at a game at Yankee Stadium earlier this year. So yeah, like you said, the sidearm motion, kind of like a Tanner Houck, in a way, with just a movement on his pitches. So 28-year-old rookie, but they have 5 years of control of them. Right. So I think it was just like, Wesneski probably, has 3 or 4 years to even get to the majors. So that's why they make the move. And, there's always a 40-man roster crunch, but I honestly think this guy could be as good as Clay Holmes. I mean, you look at the numbers, tons of strikeouts this year.
Right.
And I think it's just that deception and just a different look out of the bullpen. So I just think it's a home run. And you just didn't give up too much. And while, you don't like your rookies to be 28 years old, at the same time, having 5 years of control, ages 28 to 33, and you're going to be a dominant reliever, you're going to sign up for that every day of the week. So I think that's a home run deal right there.
Oh, yeah. Great piece to get.
So that's how they let off. But the big deal of the day, a lot of players exchanging teams here. The Yankees acquire Frankie Montas and Lou Trevino from the Oakland A's in exchange for J.P. Sears, Cooper Bauman, Louis Medina, and Ken Waldichuk. So a big haul going back to Oakland here. And we've talked about Montas. And, obviously I said I didn't necessarily want him. I thought there were better options out there. But now that he's here, you look at the body of work. I know he dealt with a shoulder injury earlier this year, but, has pitched pretty well the last 2 years. If you look at the numbers, and he's kind of slotted in as that number 2 starter. And, you did give up a lot here, but, as far as, Medina, he had a great year in the minors last year, had been struggling. Waldichuk is the big one. He had been absolutely dominating this year, but we know how the Yankees are with these pitching prospects. They don't like to bring them up. So to get an established starter like Montas, you can slide him into the rotation. And I think this was huge because we didn't know this, but then right after this deal, they did announce Severino transferred to the 60-day IL, so not eligible to return till the middle of September. So with all that being said, and, with Castillo off the board, I think it was a good move for sure. I'm excited to see what Montas can do. And then the fact that you get Lou Trevino, and if you look at the numbers, off the rip, you would say, oh my God, his ERA 6, what are they doing? But he's a guy who's had success in the past. Looks like he's had some bad luck with balls in play this year. And then, of course, you think about the Matt Blake factor,
right?
What he can do to make improvements upon him. So with all that being said, I think both of these moves, were really, really good moves by the Yankees and really kind of positioning themselves to, have the best shot at winning the World Series.
So all in all, you're happy with Montas.
Just because, listen, would I have wanted Rodon? Yes.
What about Castillo?
And Castillo. But the thing is, I think both of those guys required trading Anthony Volpe or Oswald Peraza. Didn't want to give up those guys, or obviously Jason Dominguez. So I feel like the fact that we get very good quality arms here, and then don't have to give up any of our top 4 prospects, I think you sign up for that every day of the week.
You're gonna be a little sour about JP Sears leaving?
Liked Sears, but it's just one of those things. We've had guys. I no one specifically comes to mind, but they have a decent amount of success, but then they're part of a package. Hey, they're part of a package. You got to part with them, and like I said, we're probably going to lose some of these guys in the Rule 5 draft anyway. And then we talked about this before the show. Bringing in these guys, we're gonna have to clear some spots as it is. So they just had too many roster, questions to be answered. So I think, in the end of the day, it's a great move. And this bullpen is so deep now, which is just really nice because we've seen some struggles recently. But so I'm on board with everything. I'm excited to see what these guys can do. Kind of curious, though, just so, in your eyes, as far as what they gave up and the impact that these guys are going to have on the team moving forward.
I think kind of like what you were saying, they didn't give up any major prospects, which is great. And I think that's definitely going to, make Yankee fans happier down the road when they end up, bringing up those prospects for sure, just because of how highly touted they were. And I feel like, I know Brian uses the word bargain bin a lot. I feel like these moves were the best they could do, honestly, in terms of, keeping their prospects and getting decent, good guys that can make an impact, and, help the Yankees kind of get into the postseason. I think maybe because, you didn't go after a Castillo or a Rodon or anything like that, that maybe there's a little bit more of a what if these guys don't work out. But I feel like the numbers are pretty solid. Like you said, you added depth to your bullpen, which is exactly what you needed to do. And I would say so far, I could, A+ trade deadline for the Yankees.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure they're not done. Obviously, they're reporting, Gallo's going to be moved out today.
Wouldn't expect much.
But anything is actually a great return for him. So yeah, I don't think you could ask anymore. And I'm just really excited about Efros. I really think it's Clay Holmes 2.0. Just that motion and deception. And I think I'm encouraged what I've seen the last couple of times out from Loaisiga and Chapman. So all of a sudden, an area of weakness becomes once again an area of strength. And we've seen the Yankees, really, for at least the past 10 years, consistently having one of the best bullpens in the major leagues.
Do you think Chapman is definitely staying?
Oh yeah. He's staying, and we'll talk about that more in a second. But I actually feel a little bit better about him, obviously, just because he's done better recently in terms of just his consistency. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think Efros will make his debut tonight. No word on Montas and Trevino. So I would say the absolute latest, we'll see them for the opening game on Friday in St. Louis, which is gonna be kind of cool. How many times have the Yankees gone to St. Louis for a series? That's kind of a historic baseball town. So I guess whatever they have to do with the physicals, this and that. So I just wanted to bring that up before we got to the game. And to my pleasure here, they did take care of business yesterday. Obviously I came in yesterday a little banged up from that loss to the Royals. And, you said I was overreacting, and maybe I was, after this 7-2 win yesterday, Yankees 70-34. And a lot to like about this one. And you think about offensively, Mr. Rizzo again, Tony. It's just, I don't know.
At Yankee Stadium. What is it?
I don't know, man. It's unbelievable. 3-run home run in the first inning. So they jump out to that 3-0 lead. Herman was on the hill for the Yankees. He did give up a home run to former Rookie of the Year Kyle Lewis in the second to make it 3-1. But Judge, once again, his 43rd home run, an absolute bomb to center, 2-run shot to make it 5-1. And then Adam Frazier answers back for the Mariners in the top of the fourth with a single to score Abraham Toro. But the Yankees get 2 more runs courtesy of 2 solo shots by Jose Trevino. So the dream season for Mr. Trevino continues. And that was the scoring for the game. So you look at it offensively, DJ LeMahieu, another 3 hits, to get his average to 290 on base percentage approaching 400. So that's obviously huge. Judge with that home run had another hit as well. So actually a first inning double. So 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. He's up to 93 RBIs on the season. Obviously you love to see that. And then, you didn't really get much from the rest of the lineup. I mentioned the Rizzo home run, Donaldson with a single. I mean, please just get out of here. Oh my God. I hate asking you this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. If it was Stevie Cohen, would Donaldson already be off the team or not?
Yeah.
Cut like a Cano, just eat it.
Yeah.
Just don't see the value. I guess supposedly the metrics are saying he's actually one of the better fielding third basemen in the league this year.
Is that correct?
I guess. But
I mean, I haven't seen much,
I guess, it doesn't stand out too that he's making a bunch of errors, but it's like, bro, if you're going to hit 218 and, not even slug 400, I mean, what are we even talking about here?
What are we doing?
And then, when you want to look at the, the rest of the pitchers. So, I mean, I mentioned Herman. He did pick up his first win of the season, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, that home run to Lewis, and only 1 strikeout, but 90 pitches, getting the win. And then you had 4 scoreless innings, from the bullpen. Marinaccio, Chapman, who I mentioned, retiring the side in only 12 pitches. Marinaccio, it only took 7. And then Loaizaga and Peralta, to close it out here. And it was funny. I don't know if you saw this, but they were making too big of a deal about it. I'm trying to think or I'll just look at the play-by-play here. But basically, there was 1 out to go, and Peralta, induces a ground out. And it was one of those plays where, so it was Abraham Toro. So Toro hits it. It's a weak ground ball. He knows he has no chance of beating out, so he's not really running. So Peralta, chugs to first to just take the ball himself. And they're like, oh, he's having a good time. And Sterling even said, that's funny on the broadcast. And it's like, oh, we love Wandy. That's what Talking Yanks are saying. And then I tagged everybody and I was like, yeah, we love him if he's not trying to close out a game, like an actual save situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just thought, listen, he might be a nice guy, but pressure situations, this wasn't one, 5-run lead, of course. So they get the win here, like I said, to bring them to 70-34. So much to like. And it really just didn't surprise me. Just the fact that Seattle's down a bunch offensively, and then Marco Gonzalez, a contact pitcher. Contact pitchers do not work against a hitting team like the New York Yankees. They just don't. And you think about the guys they just added, and then how basically, I mean, Stanton is like a trade acquisition because he hasn't been in the lineup, since before the All-Star break. So you add him to this lineup. I mean, you feel really good offensively. I still just I'm almost thinking, because I guess they were saying since 2018, Severino's only thrown 87 innings or something in 84 this year. So that I think he would have probably been ready in 2 or 3 weeks, but they're watching his innings and then in preparation for the postseason. But I feel like putting him on the 60-day IL mid-September, we just mentioned that they have Montas. I mean, would they be better off at this point just having him be part of the bullpen and even lengthen it even more? I mean, what do you think about them making that move? I mean, is it the right move? I mean, is it too slow playing here, put him on the 60-day IL? He already started this throwing program.
I know. I think it is a little bit of a babying him. It's a little too precautionary, I guess I should say.
But if you're calling the shots from this point moving forward, when he comes back, is he in the rotation? Is he in the bullpen?
I mean, I would imagine you can keep him in the rotation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how would you line up the postseason rotation with Montas in the picture now? Obviously, we know Cole's the first starter.
Right. And then it's got to be Nestor,
and then Montas, and then Severino.
Yeah.
And then just Tyone and Montgomery as mop-up guys.
Yeah.
Which I think is...
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad. But I really do because Sevy, I mean, this is the lat thing again. I don't know. I mentioned it before this year, and I know he pitched well before the injury, but he's just going to keep getting injured, I mean, how is he not better suited as a reliever? I mean, I guess we can give him one more shot here, recover, see how the postseason goes. But I guess part of that is too because he hasn't had the best track record as a starter in the postseason.
Right.
So that's kind of why I'm leaning that way. But I guess
yeah.
we could give him one more shot.
Yeah, dude, come
on. So after the win, now a 12-game lead over Toronto, 15 over Tampa, and I believe it's a 3-game lead over the Houston Astros. Going to be a tough assignment tonight, though, and we'll get to the game in a sec. But it's Logan Gilbert on the hill, Tyone. So, and it's funny too. I was even saying, like, I was talking to Matt yesterday, and I was like, should we just trade Tyone? Like, isn't there too many starters? And I didn't know that Severino was. So now, obviously, you just keep Tyone. So gonna be interesting. But it just feel really good about the win. And you think about out of the All-Star break, losing 5 out of 7, now, you've won 4 out of 5 and you feel like you're headed in the right direction. But you just want to really, I think there's no reason why they can't sweep this series. I think, runs will be tougher to come by early in this game, but then I think as it goes on, they're not going to really have too much trouble. And then I think St. Louis is going to be a tough road series. A team that you're not used to playing, you're not used to facing the pitchers, and you're not used to facing the hitters. And we know the type of lineup they have. And imagine if Soto's there for that series.
Oh my gosh, it's very possible.
Yeah, so that would be a tough one for sure. So we'll see, what St. Louis does. They did acquire Quintana yesterday. Any thoughts on that one?
What'd they give up for him?
It just kind of like a so-so prospect. Nothing
crazy.
No.
Then I would say that's a good move.
But like, can you really see him going 6 innings and giving up 2 runs or less in the postseason?
In the postseason,
because I mean, isn't that what you're acquiring these guys for? I
Yeah.
guess maybe you're trying to solidify your spot, but I don't know.
No, St. Louis is definitely still trying to solidify, right? Aren't they in the wild card run?
Oh, they are. I'm just saying that I don't know when you're a contending team and you acquire a guy. I'm especially a starter, unless it's like literally like he's going to be your 5th starter. I'm thinking about how he's going to pitch in the postseason.
Right. No, yeah, you're right. But I feel like it's possible for him to pitch well in the postseason. Likely, maybe not. But if you give up nothing to get him, why not just take a chance, right?
Yeah, I'm just glad the Yankees didn't get him.
Oh yeah.
And then the only other thing, we have been talking about these Rizzo splits. So what it is at home, 16 home runs, 41 RBIs. So the slugging at 547, the OPS at 918. On the road, 10 homers, 24 RBIs, 219 average, on base at 319, slugging 469, OPS 788. So he's actually, I think, picked it up recently on the road, but 16 home runs in 50 games at home.
I know.
You do the math there. That'd be a pretty good season if they were playing all their games at home. So I could not be. I'm almost even more surprised at how well he's done this year than how well Judge has done this year, just because the power was not. I think he hit 9 home runs in 50 games last year after he came over from the Marlins.
Really? Was that few?
Yeah, because we got excited. He hit that one in Miami when he first came over. Then he had COVID, and he just this power wasn't there. And I just feel like every time that he comes up at Yankee Stadium, I'm expecting him to hit a home run.
That's great, dude. Love him,
Mr. Rizzo. I have to get a jersey, honestly.
You should. Forget the would you
Clay Holmes? It is still coming because they gave me the Frank Thomas, like I said.
Just call him back, but okay, just
give me a Rizzo
jersey. Give me a Rizzo one instead.
So all in all, a good night for the Yankees, and it was a good night across town for the New York Mets as well, Tony.
Yeah, it was, dude. So like we mentioned yesterday, they're playing the Nationals. Max Scherzer on the mound. Max Scherzer a little bit on short rest. They were talking about just like I said, him pitching being 38 now on short rest, and how he gave everything he did his last start against the Yankees, which he did. And he got banged up pretty much immediately. First inning. What's so funny about that, dude?
No, actually, I didn't mean to even. You're talking about Corbin, obviously.
No, I was saying Scherzer, like.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. No, I'll wait until you talk about.
Yeah, you weren't listening to me.
No, well,
yeah, you were not listening, Brian.
I'm always listening, Tony. I'm always listening. If that's
so Scherzer right away getting into some trouble with location. First inning gives up a run. I think it was a Josh Bell RBI double. Soto ended up scoring. He had a tough time pitching to Soto the whole night. Like I said, right away giving up some hits, giving up 1 earned run in the first inning. It wasn't like just a solo home run or something. It was quite a few hits he gave up to get men on base. And then we saw, like I said, Josh Bell kind of hitting that RBI double. And Scherzer was looking pretty tired. He was definitely a little laggish on the mound, and you're thinking, yeah, like I know this is the Nationals, but never underestimate your opponent, never overlook anyone. But as we've seen the Mets do before, specifically in the Yankees series too, they rally in the inning after they get scored upon, and they just answer back so quickly. They score 3 runs in the top of the second. And that was courtesy of a McNeil single, a Nito single, and a Marte single as well. So kind of going back to there, getting runners on base, getting stringing along hits, bringing those runners in, which was great to see. Like I said, this past weekend, the offense, they were really sharing the wealth, and to see that again just in this game today, last night, was great to see. And of course, Patrick Corbin. You're a little nervous with Scherzer get up a run in the bottom of the first, but you're thinking, well, you know what? Patrick Corbin's pitching. We're bound to hit him up. And the next inning we do. Yes, Brian, Patrick Corbin.
Couple things. Actually, yeah, I'll ask about Corbin first. Because, you watch the game and I'm just so curious. I know at the end of the day, he's just getting bombed, but what is it with him? Because you watched it up close. I mean, what is the problem?
It seems like he's struggling with some location. His balls are over the middle of the freaking plate, dude.
So he doesn't hit any corners. There's no tough pitches.
Once in a while,
yeah.
Someone will have a tough at bat against him, but few and far between, Brian.
Yeah, because the velocity is not terrible, right? 93.
Yeah, it's not terrible at all.
But
he needs new glasses or something. I don't know.
And this is another Cohen would have bit the bullet.
Oh, dude!
Just imagine him being in New York, giving up all these runs, and they didn't release it by now. 4-14.
Are you kidding me, dude?
It's one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. And if he starts the whole year, he's going to lose over 20 games. When was the last time we saw something like that happen? It's been a long time.
They said in the broadcast last night.
It was some guy on the Tigers. Wasn't it?
Back in 2004 when they lost 120 games or something.
I forgot who it was.
Yeah, me too. But he threw 90 pitches, 58 were strikes.
Yeah, so control, location. Yeah. And the other reason I was smiling is one of the originals, Tony, is back. If you would read off the comments,
but for a couple comments, dude. Before is back. Imagine,
missed you, bud.
Imagine Juan Soto, Nationals, takes over to the Mets dugout and put on a new uniform tonight.
And then there was a part 2.
And then goosebumps watching Jacob deGrom tonight. How do you not have goosebumps? I totally agree. Before, imagine Juan Soto just mid-game, mid at bat, just dropping the bat. Give the Nationals the out. I'm changing my jersey. Fuck the Nationals, dude.
But if you had to put a number on it, percentage-wise, Soto being on the Mets roster after 6:00 tonight,
20% maybe.
I feel like that's too high.
Yeah. Oh, you want it, Brian?
That's too high.
That's too high. No, that is pretty high chance, I suppose, still, but I think 20% isn't terrible. Dude, I'm telling you, the Mets haven't made really any moves yet, dude. I'm sure maybe Cohen is in talks with the Nationals, trying to get something done. Because you have to imagine if nothing's happened yet, it's going to be something of a blockbuster deal. Because I would imagine, because the Mets haven't made any moves, that they're going after someone that many teams are after. And it's just a matter of figuring it out.
I've 2 things to that. With Soto specifically, I just don't know if the Mets have the horses to get him. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's they literally might have to give 10 players up to get Soto, probably.
Yeah, but they have some of the top prospects in the minors.
Yeah, but how many of those guys are top 100? I think
3.
I'm not sure. I don't even know if there's more than one in the top 100.
No way, dude. Alvarez is obviously one.
Do we know that for sure?
Yes, I'm pretty sure I've read that. Yes, do some research.
Oh, I guess
Francisco
back
Alvarez.
in February, it said they had 16, but that doesn't make any sense.
Well, right now, Francisco Alvarez is number 1.
Number 1 in the system, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but there's something else here. I think I might have found some answers. So,
And then we have Brett Batty's at 18.
okay, they have 3.
Oh.
What
did I say, Brian?
This was Bleacher Report, but yeah, Alvarez, they were saying number 6, Batty number 36,
Ronnie
and
Mauricio
number 79. And then there's been a lot of people on the fan are getting tight. I think actually Sal Licata, but about Vientos possibly like occupying the DH role. Like he's so pissed. Like he just wants them to acquire someone. He doesn't want to go from the farm. But come on, Tony. I think we've reached a point here with all contending teams. You really see this for the most part. They don't want to give any of these guys a shot. They really don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever, all the years I've watched baseball, I've never seen teams so reluctant to go to the prospect. They always want to go to the known commodity.
I know. Alvarez should have been brought up already. And when you think about it,
when you brought him up, Renee?
Yeah, Renee would have brought him up. I mean, McCann was injured. He wasn't doing jack shit. Thank you, Renee. And then Nito is like also he wasn't doing anything, dude. He's not that great defensively. I suppose he's come along as of recently. He had a couple good hits last night. He looks good on the play, but I mean, dude.
But do you think any of it is the reason why they actually don't want to bring them up is because they hold more value not playing in the majors? Because then if they play in the majors and are terrible like Jared Kelenic, then the value plummets.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose. But then so what, dude?
It's too nervous. It's way too much nervous.
It is way too. What if you bring it up? He's a fucking all-star, dude.
Exactly.
And then what? I mean, I suppose maybe most teams like rather keep him down, trade prospect, and then you can get someone who you know is good.
Right.
Like Juan Soto.
And I know it's not going to be Juan Soto, but there's a name we talked about before the show. What do you think about Mr. Martinez coming to Flushing?
I think that's a great I think that's a great pick. I heard about it yesterday. I also heard they were interested in Velasquez, but obviously he got dealt to
Wait, Vince Velasquez?
No.
Vasquez is on the Astros.
Astros, yeah.
Okay.
But obviously, I mean, I feel like that would have been good.
Yeah, that would have been solid, and I would have rather seen him go there too, because obviously that upgrades the Astros, and who wants to do that?
And I can't believe how close of a race is between the Astros and the Yankees right now. But
3
anyway,
games, I think.
JD would be huge, dude.
I mean, how does Cohen not just get it done? I mean,
Honestly.
I think literally the punch that he'll bring to the lineup, he's the perfect DH, and in an emergency, you could put him in the field. So, and I don't think it's going to cost a ton. I mean, he's a pending free agent. I think he's going on 34 years old, and we've talked about it. He's undervalued for whatever reason. The fact that he's like around a 300 hitter with power, and it's like everybody's like, I
mean, the only issue I feel like is his age.
Yeah, but age for the rest of the season means nothing.
Well, for the rest of this season, yeah. So what are you gonna? You can't give up much if you're just gonna have him for the rest of the season.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they're gonna have.
That's
to
what I'm saying. But I don't know. I feel like Boston's gonna want something good for him. I mean, look at Boston.
Give him Vientos, Tony. It's worth it.
Yeah, I guess
it's not that big of a deal. You still got your top 3 prospects in the 100 list.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. So I guess we'll see. Yeah, I would be very reluctant to give up a lot for him, and that's what I'll be worried about. But nonetheless, we were talking about tonight's game with the Mets.
Were we?
I think we were, dude. I don't even know.
I think we were talking about Juan Soto.
Yeah, I don't even. Speaking of Soto, he homered last night off of Scherzer. Again, Scherzer being a little sluggish, but nonetheless, his line ended up being pretty good because he kind of muscled it out. 6 2/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, only 5 Ks. I feel like his strikeout rate this game and even his game against the Yankees was pretty low too.
You're kind of down in Scherzer recently.
I'm just high
expectations.
High expectations. Very critical of what he's doing. I mean, he threw 105 pitches. ERA is still, just a touch above 2 right now. So I mean, it's great. But I mean, yeah, I get a little nervous. He's an old guy. Come on, dude. We're gonna need him for the postseason. Don't look at me with that face.
No, I mentioned this before they got him.
Yeah, I understand that, but he's still doing good. All right. And
you just were saying that you're not happy with him, and then
I didn't say I'm not happy with him. I'm just saying I'm just highly critical of him.
Okay.
I mean, I'm very happy he muscled it out. It looked like he was arguing with the pitching coach. What's his name? It's Jeff?
Wrong person for this question.
Damn it, dude.
I mean, I want to look it up and I want to see if you get it, honestly, because I'm just curious if you're
Jeff Hefner, I think it is. Look it up, dude.
Okay. Or no, is it Jeremy Hefner?
Jeremy Hefner.
Because he used to pitch for the Mets.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy Hefner.
Jeremy Hefner. See, I got it, dude. Fuck out of here. Anyway, regardless, I mean, still a decent night for him. And we saw Rodriguez come in relief. He threw an inning of one walk ball. But still, he got the job done. I mean, no earned runs, no strikeouts, whatever, no hits. And then Ottavino comes in for an inning and a third. Again, we've seen Ottavino on short rest. Is good. Didn't give up any hits, no runs. Love to see that. Mets ended up winning 7-3. Alonso had a dinger. Alonso had a crazy line drive to almost, it must have been left center field. It was honestly one of the craziest things I've seen. Prefer comments, Jeremy Hefner. Thank you very much. Prefer, thank you for tuning in, by the way. It's
yeah, we
forever,
missed you,
dude.
bud.
Missed you so much.
And especially with the way the Mets are playing, I can't believe we haven't heard from him.
He was probably so, into the Mets. It was just all Mets and nothing, dude.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's great to have a Mets fan, on the show commenting, and not all these stupid Yankee fans. Anyway, so yes, you love to see another Met victory. Is it 7 in a row, Brian?
It is seven in a row.
You absolutely love to see it. And then I'm not even going to mention the games tonight. I'm sure Brian we'll get into that. As we get on to a pick segment, dude.
Yes, absolutely. And it is just a train wreck for me. I mean, there's no other way to say it. 1-2 spot yesterday because the Giants and the White Sox, Kopech was on the hill. And of course, it's ho-hum, 6 innings, not a lot of strikeouts. So you only let up 2 runs, but they only scored 1. And it's but yet Tony La Russa, with his bourbon in the dugout, still keeps his job, I guess, just because the White Sox are in the division race. But really, really one of the more disappointing stories of the year. And then the Giants don't take care of business. Logan Webb gets hammered by the Dodgers. And I mean, the Dodgers can hit. There's no denying that. But I just thought the Giants lineup, I know they've struggled recently, but I thought they would have been able to hit Heaney. But he only gave up, I think, 1 run over 4 innings. But it's the Dodgers are too good of a team to be messing around with Andrew Heaney. I don't see him in any other role for them the rest of this year. I mean, I guess into the postseason, other than like a
Heaney
long reliever, right?
Yeah,
he can't
maybe.
make a postseason
start. No way, dude. No way.
But I mean, the Dodgers are talented. There's no 2 ways about it.
Right.
And would be a tough playoff matchup, for the Mets or the Yankees.
Anyone, really. I can't believe the Red Sox won last night. What did I go last night? Also 1-2?
No, you went 2-1 because the Padres won.
Oh, the Padres won. The Red Sox lost. And then who else did I pick? Oh, the Mets, of course.
Yeah, and it was just a 3 pick.
That's
segment.
Right. The Padres, Clevenger.
We'll open up to 4 today.
Okay.
And with me, I mean, really treading water at this point. I mean, 26-25, you're 32-19. I think I'm just gonna go, other than the Yankees, because it's the Yankees. I'm just gonna go opposite what I think for all my picks for the rest of this. Yeah. So just making that known. I mean, can't argue that it shouldn't work, right?
I know. I mean, if everything you were doing was wrong, the opposite,
should work.
What happened? You have to be right.
So go ahead, Tony. Lead us off here. What do we got?
I mean, dude, Jacob deGrom finally making basically a season debut, honestly, tonight against the Nationals. It's going to be very interesting to see if Soto's on the team or not come the start of this game. 7:05 pitch. I want to say Soto's not going to be on the team, dude.
Yeah, I think he's headed to St. Louis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, better farm.
Okay.
Padres.
True. Padres, true. Anyway, Jacob deGrom. I mean, obviously, I'm not expecting him to go really much more than 5 innings here.
How many pitches? Did they let him go 80?
8. Yeah, I was at 82.
Okay.
82 pitches. I would say, over 5 innings, 82 pitches. I would say maybe gives up 3 hits.
Bless you.
Give me 8 Ks and maybe 1 earned run solo shot from Josh Bell. Right?
Yeah, I can see it, but I think Bell might not even be in the lineup either. Why
You
would
think
they
they're
not
gonna get rid of him? Yeah, I guess so.
Why keep him?
Yeah,
And
it's
Nelson
true.
Cruz should get traded too.
Dude,
I mean,
he's
that
fucking-
should be a backup. I know he's struggling, but that should be a backup for the Mets. If they really can't anybody, I mean, they should be able to give him a bag of donuts for Cruz at this point.
Yeah, it's true. That'd be nice. Maybe a couple bag of bats, maybe. Some
Right?
nice
So
fresh balls.
I think he'd be energized.
I think so too. And then then between Scherzer being 38 and Cruz being 42, I mean, it's,
Bring back Cano.
yeah, yeah, dude, get pulled somehow too. Anyway, I mean, it's the Nationals. Corey Abbott on the mound for them. I guess pretty decent. I mean, I don't know much about this Abbott guy. Seems like this season he has 3 games pitched. Young buck, 26. Came over from the Cubs. I suppose here his last outing. Obviously he's a bullpen guy, so they're using him as a starter today. But I mean, he hasn't really done much. I suppose he hasn't had any games. This is his first start ever. And there really shouldn't be a reason why the Mets can bring the house down on him. And then, so I would say Mets take this one, dude. 7-1. They score 7 again, give up only the 1 run. I would imagine Diaz, Lugo. Come on, dude. And then before another comment here, Barnes, have you seen the Derek Jeter documentary?
I have not seen the Derek Jeter documentary just because I'm so busy watching the Yankees every night. But I do look forward to watching it. I think there's a lot of good stuff there, and I'm really curious to see the whole dynamic. What him and A-Rod say about that whole feud. I mean, I don't know how A-Rod has much to stand on. I mean, obviously he was just being an idiot about the whole thing, but that was A-Rod. I guess he's somewhat made some better decisions since then. But yeah, definitely looking forward to watch it. And I think it's honestly prefer it might be an off-season thing. I mean, maybe on an off day, but usually an off day in the summer. I mean, we're golfing. I mean, let's be real. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. What about you, Tony?
I would love to watch it. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. It's on so late, dude. I'm not.
Yeah, but I mean, on demand.
I gotta get on top of that.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of the Yankees, back in action tonight. And I mentioned it earlier. Logan Gilbert, really good for the Mariners this year. 10-4, 2.78. Going up against JMO, 10-2, but 3.72, and obviously not pitching well of late, even though he was good in his last outing. So all of that being said, I think this is one where the Yankees may need to come from behind, because I could see, let's say Gilbert going 6 innings, maybe only giving up like 3 hits, and they get a Hicks solo shot or something. But Tyone, I could see, that 5 innings, 3 earned or so. And then once we get into the Mariners bullpen, I really could see for the 4th game in a row, Anthony Rizzo leaving the building, bringing the crowd to their feet. And Matty Carpenter was off yesterday. I could see him homering as well. So I think, by the 7th inning, the Yankees take like a 6-3 lead. Clay Holmes, 1, 2, and 3 for the save, and kind of we relax a little bit about him. And maybe Efros pitches the 8th, striking out the side. Really can't wait to see him in action. So another win for the Yankees here, 6-3 as they take game 2 here from the Seattle Mariners.
Love to see that, dude. My next pick, I'm gonna go with the Braves. Honestly, they're gonna be at home against the Phillies, and they just extended
Austin Riley 10 years, $212 million.
Yeah, dude, how crazy is that?
What's your thought on this stuff? Because I feel like, I don't know, like him, if this trajectory continues, I don't know when he would have been a free agent, maybe 3 or 4 years, but wouldn't the contract be double?
What do you mean double?
Like the value, because this is buying out arbitration. It's not like he's a free agent next year. Right? He's only 24 years old. And he's been absolutely on fire.
Yeah.
And maybe not 400, but you're telling me at least $125, $130 million extra?
Yeah, I would say so.
So, is it the right move? I mean, what do you think, honestly?
For him? Or
for him. Obviously, for the Braves, I think it's the right move.
Yeah. But. I suppose it's guaranteed money, right, for the next 10 years, and you're going to be on a contending team. So, I think obviously he enjoys the Braves. He loves it. He wants to play there. Yeah.
But the only thing that's going to be
Still
tough,
20 million, over 20 million a year.
right? But in 3 or 4 years,
Mhm.
and he, let's say over that period of time, he's averaged 35 to 40 home runs, and his average is around 290, and he's made the All-Star team every year. He's going to have some
Yeah.
regrets, he
No,
will.
I suppose, but do I think he's gonna be I think he's gonna be worth $30 million a year?
I mean, did you see the numbers this year?
Yeah, I'm aware of the numbers this year.
I feel like there
but-
must be some brave bias here, Tony.
I don't know, dude. I just, he's what would you say? He's 25, 26?
I think he's only 24.
24.
I'm gonna actually check, but
He's 25.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, I get, again, like the trajectory is high for him. He has 29 home runs, 68 RBIs, batting 301. Yeah, it's great, dude. And especially like at a position like third base. I mean, he's really good. But I mean, I would say good for him, honestly, to solidify his spot with the Braves.
All right. So
Anyway,
yeah,
dude,
back to the game.
Back to the game. Speaking of Austin Riley, I would say you got to have a dinger from him tonight after that contract extension.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with the way you're talking about him. And I would think Spencer Strider, who's pitched pretty well, I feel. He's got the stash. Did he pitch against the Mets? Yeah, he did. 4 2/3 against the Mets, 1 earned run. Most recently against the Phillies, late July, 6 innings, 1 earned run, which was just a solo home run shot, and 1 walk. I mean, obviously, I feel like he's pitched well against the Phillies before. I would think he can do it again here. So I would say give me the Braves. They're going to win this one 4-1.
Speaking of the Phillies, I just saw this on NBC Sports Edge. I guess they're honing in. That was quoting them on Noah Syndergaard.
The Phillies.
Yes. Thoughts?
I mean, I guess I'm happy we'll see him more.
No, honestly, that's what the first thing I was thinking, because he did obviously duck the Mets.
Yeah, duck the Mets, and then he's been bashing them on Twitter. Meanwhile, look at the organization he's a part of.
I mean, you can't argue with that. And obviously, the results have been underwhelming so far this year. So I think he's definitely going to get moved, though. I mean, why would the Angels keep him? I don't think he's there for the long term, for sure.
Not that good.
So for my second pick here, just taking a look, I forgot we're going opposite too here. So normally, Tony, I mean, how would you go against Tyler Anderson, 11-1, 2.61 ERA? But it's opposite day. So Alex Wood, I think he's pitched better than that 4.11 ERA suggests. Oracle Park, obviously a big turnout. Dodgers Giants, that's kind of like a Yankees Red Sox of the West Coast. So everybody's fired up, and I think the Giants are disappointed last night. You had Logan Webb against Andrew Heaney, and it wasn't even close. Call me crazy, but I think they're a little disappointed, a little fired up. I mean, you win 107 games last year. You're 1 game under 500 right now. You're thinking about trading your best pitcher. So I think the fellas want to show, hopefully for their sake, that they keep the team together. They don't trade anybody else. So I think Wood goes 7 strong, 10 strikeouts. Anderson doesn't make it out of the 4th, gives up 6 earned. Giants 10-3 over the Dodgers.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Opposite
day.
All right. So my next pick, I've been going with the Brewers a lot this season, I feel, and why not continue it now? Corbin Burns on the mound, great starting pitcher. And they've been winning me a lot of games, even with Hader doing absolute garbage in the past month. Now they don't have Hader, so why can't they still win? And it's against the Pirates. Let's be real here. I think Bryce Wilson pitched well against the Brewers his last outing, but I would expect that again. I mean, Rowdy Tellez has been on a tear. Christian Yelich is getting there, I feel. And then with Willie Adames as well. I can't really see Bryce Wilson pitching well against the Brewers again. And again, Corbin Burns should be pretty lights out tonight. Give me the Brewers 3-0.
Were you surprised? The Brewers obviously in the thick of it that they traded Hader yesterday.
Very.
But maybe the thought is, he's looked terrible. Maybe they feel like he needed a change of scenery. And the only thing is, I don't know if they really capitalized from a value perspective compared to what we thought about him entering the year after this tough stretch. But I think they feel pretty confident because, it looks like they're going to be a postseason team, and Devin Williams is unbelievable. You look at his numbers this year. I mean, it just seems like every time you see the box score, it's just a perfect inning striking out the side. So hard to argue there. And continuing, with this opposite theme here, we have the Rays and the Blue Jays, and obviously the Blue Jays have been on fire. And Kevin Gausman has looked pretty good this season as the legend himself, Michael C. Theophil, also known as the Downtime Superfan, enters the studio. Gausman's pitched great. Rasmussen, I don't know. You know what I mean? These Rays guys, they're just kind of vanilla. I don't really get too excited. But like I said, opposite day here. So we're going to say the Rays are going to shut out the Blue Jays 4-0. And Gausman gives up 4 runs over 4 innings. And we're going to say Randy Arozarena hits 2 home runs.
All right, dude. Well, I guess we'll go to my last pick here real quick. St. Louis. In St. Louis against the Cubs, Adam Wainwright against Keegan Thompson. Pretty good pitching matchup, honestly. However, I mean, you can very much argue that the Cardinals have way more power with the bat than the Cubs do. And I would think, Adam Wainwright, who I feel like struggled kind of as of late. Record isn't great, 7-8. I just feel like sometimes the Cardinals have been a little consistent this season. Obviously when he's been starting too. And I think as per Brian, maybe in time for this game, it'll be have Juan Soto. But I think the Cardinals should make beat the Cubs with pretty ease here. Give me the Cubs. Give me the Cardinals. I'd say 5-3.
All right. And let's see. So for my last pick here, continuing the theme, we have the matchup of the Astros and the Red Sox. Cutter Crawford, I mean, I think he's trash. Javier pitched very well for Houston. Obviously, they're excited about their additions yesterday between Mancini, Vasquez, and Will Smith. So I think Cutter Crawford somehow shuts them down. Maybe 5 1/3 scoreless. Bullpen does the job. And I think Rafi Devers hits one on the train tracks. Red Sox 4-1 over the Astros.
Wow.
So how do you think this is going to work out, honestly?
I think you may go 0-4 tonight. I'm not even joking about it, Brian.
But why does it have to work like that, though?
I think you just took too much of an extreme measure here, Brian. I mean, opposite with everything. Like, I don't know, dude.
There's some thought to it, though.
No. There's some thought. It's going to be an interesting experiment. And we'll see.
All right. And then I just wanted to ask you, because we were just talking, about Houston. What did you think of those 3 moves yesterday? I mean, do you think those are going to make big impacts? I mean, Mancini, Vasquez, and Smith. Will Smith.
Right. Will Smith, I like.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was kind of under the radar. People, I feel like, will didn't really exactly see that coming and maybe undervalue Will Smith a little bit. Obviously, Mancini, the Mets were looking at him. So I'm disappointed in terms of the Mets, but I mean, he's a great player. For them, I'd say that's a good move. I mean, Houston is again, I mean, they're, like you said, 3 games behind the Yankees. Obviously, they're clearly doing everything they can to kind of catch the Yankees. And I think they're going to give them a good run for their money with the moves, dude. I like them. I like the moves a lot.
Yeah, and actually, though, I'm okay with the moves. I'm saying just because I think they're solid, but they're not spectacular.
They're not spectacular, but they're adding to the team, for sure.
But it's not someone, like, oh, they got Soto or something, like, that would really kind of bring, catch it for.
There's still time, though, so.
There is still time. And I didn't realize this. So, I just happened to think of it because we were talking about Houston, and obviously he pitched there for a couple of years. Greinke, 222, 138, career 3.44 ERA, and career 2,859 strikeouts. So if he does pitch one more season, he will get to 3,000. I still am saying not a Hall of Famer. Almost reminds me of like Mussina. And I know Mussina got in. I know he was a Yankee and all that, but I just never thought of him as a Hall of Famer. And I don't think that Greinke's a Hall of Famer.
I will see, dude.
No, I'm just saying based on those numbers, though, is that a Hall of Fame resume?
Yeah, but I feel like if you're saying it reminds you of Mussina, Mussina's in. What are we doing?
But you thought Mussina deserved it?
I don't think any Yankee deserves it.
See, that's just when you just start talking crazy.
Oh, right, Brian.
But last question, Tony. The Mets at the end of the day today, who are they getting?
I would say Castillo.
Castillo.
The
The Mariners are just gonna flip him.
Yeah, why not, dude? No, honestly, I don't know, dude. I mean, again, I mean, like I said, I think they're going for a blockbuster deal just because of what like how much time has kind of gone past.
Yeah.
I really do. I don't know, dude. I would like to say Soto, but I know that's so unlikely.
So Martinez?
Yeah, I guess just Martinez.
You seem a little disappointed though.
Yeah, of course, dude. Come on.
All right. I mean,
I feel like it's the same thing with the offseason where it was all these big names that come in and then it's nothing.
yeah, I got you. But yeah, I can't wait to talk about, I'm sure there's going to be a flurry of moves. So we'll all, recap that tomorrow. But once again, really was, a great show today. And, really appreciate everyone tuning in, the return of Befur. So really can't wait to continue the conversation tomorrow. And really want to thank everybody, for continuing to follow, comment, like, subscribe, as well as check out the archives on our YouTube page and check out the summer collection, downtimetv.com. But I want everybody to enjoy the day. Let's get some New York wins, and we will see you
Mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do.